Today I'm going to do a head-to-head video comparison of these two products. These are mini instrument cluster that you can put on your Model 3 or your Model Y. I have a Model Y that I recently purchased. It has just done just over 1100 kilometers, so fairly new. I'm still trying to get used to the speed readout on the Tesla screen. Now people say you'll get used to it. Yes, I'm sure you'll get used to it, but it doesn't remove the fact that you are taking your eye off the road for about a split second, and I don't want that because I want to keep my eyes on the road. So I have these two options. Now the first one is from YONZEE. Now this is more, I think this is more popular than the other one. It has a better build quality. It's made of some sort of a metal frame. It's quite chunky and heavy, and as you can see here, it has all these displays, turn indicators, reverse spark drive. There's no neutral. These digital readout is your speed. You have light indicators as well as door open. Now if you look at here, the other one, less premium, as you can see here in the packaging, just a normal box with some printout. They provide you with this instruction manual, which is all in Chinese, by the way. And in terms of the readout, you have, as usual, turn indicators, park, reverse, neutral, drive. And one thing I like about this is that it displays speed when the car is in motion, and when you're stationary, it displays the battery percentage. So that's quite neat. And feel of this is all plastic, so it's not really premium, but one thing I like about this is it's narrower than this, so it'll block less of that airflow coming out from the aircon vent. So join me. I'll do a side-by-side comparison, do a test drive, and compare their display, compare their accuracy. So first, let's have a look at the YONZEE. This is the one that doesn't have the battery percentage. So we're gonna hook it up. Now this is the wiring harness, and that's the plug that we need to connect. So looks like it's been squished there, but you can see there's a small arrow there on the male side, and on the female side there's another arrow, so I guess we just need to line it up. Sort of, there it is. Sort of oval shaped. You have to round it out and then just try to connect it. Doesn't line up perfectly, but there it is. It clicked. And then let's try connecting the other one, because what I'll be doing is I'm gonna be running these two connectors in series. Let's just connect this first. So this is different. This is much more sturdier. Sort of held its shape there. So and this is easy. There's also an arrow on both sides, so all you need to do is align it, but the tab there is really prominent, so you can't really miss it. And hook it up. Okay, so there's only room for one at the bottom there, but I want to run this together in parallel. So this is just going to be a temporary, and I'm gonna connect this here to click, and I'm gonna plug one end into the thing, and the other end to the other, and then we're gonna unravel this. Okay, so we now get a better view how to remove this plastic trim. Now this plastic trim is held in place by 5 clips, 2 on each side, one on the top here and at the bottom, and there's another clip here in the middle. You need to pull this plastic trim out like this to the back, because all of the clips are facing this way, so you just need to pull it this way. Now if you use the plastic pry tool and sort of from the bottom there, you can sort of pry that piece, and then same thing on the other side, sort of that. There it is. You really need to give it some, there it is. And then lastly in the middle there. Next step is to take that off. But so like I said, this is going to be a temporary one because I've sort of daisy chained it. I'm going to attach that side and then take this off, connect it here, and yep, I might need to leave this cover out for the time being while I do some test driving, and I'll show you what it looks like in the dash. Before you disconnect the wiring harness in the back, they suggest that you turn off system. So go to car, go to safety, and then hit power off. Off system is powered off. Take that out, so just push this lever, pull out, connect one end, and then connect the other end. There it is, nice solid click. Okay, so the car woke up when I plugged in the wiring harness, and if you notice, the YONZEE has woken up and started to display some information, door open indicator and the speed, but the other one hasn't woken up. So I'm not sure whether it's a good thing or bad thing, but we'll again, like I said, I'll route the wire and we'll do some test driving. Once I unravel this, I am just going to tuck it underneath the carpet temporarily. Like I said, this is not going to be a final install. I just want to compare it side by side. So I'm going to route the wire, just tuck it underneath the carpet, through the back of the driver's seat, and then through the side and up into the aircon, the aircon vent. So I'll put this camera down, go to the other side, and get a better angle. So now I'm gonna enter the car. So the two mini instrument clusters are there. I'm gonna open the door. As you can see, the YONZEE turned on, and I'm gonna step on the brakes and see what happens. Okay, so both turned on. Now you notice there the one on the right is saying 83%, and that's kind of like the feature that I like about that. But if you notice, the P came on much later. The other mini instrument cluster was already showing P and some light symbol there. The small one doesn't have any of those, so that's a drawback. We'll see how they behave while driving. So I'll cut and then we'll do some driving around. Okay, let's head out. Park. Right now I'm at park, so I'm gonna put it in drive. Okay, both show drive. The one on the left has the hold function. The other one doesn't have any. I think it's very limited in terms of what it can show. So we're now moving. As you can see here, the actual speed in the computer is here, and they look okay. so far so good. I like the other one, the one on the right, because it's not so bright. I don't know how that would be in daylight condition. It looks okay. Okay. The D indicator, the D symbol comes on and comes off. That's not good. Indicator, yep, it's all good. Okay, there's a bit of a mismatch there. I didn't realize, I didn't notice which one's right, which one's correct, which one's not, but there's a bit of lag on the other one. Okay, so we'll go here in the parking lot and we'll do some reverse maneuver. Okay, right indicator, it's okay. Yep, goes 0, it's hold. I'm gonna put it in park. So good. And let's see if I turn off the lights. Yep. It's 83%, that's matched. Let's go in reverse. Auto. Let's reverse out. Okay. Put it in gear. D. It's broad daylight, so I thought I'd test the two mini instrument cluster. I'm gonna have to remove this plastic cover because, especially this big one, it doesn't really there's too much glare. I think the material they use. The smaller display has, or the smaller instrument cluster has a better daytime visibility than this big one. As you can see, both of them have the D indicator display showing up. The small one has the battery percentage, which is the same as what's showing up on the main display, but the YONZEE, the bigger mini instrument cluster, shows that I'm on hold. I was actually stepping on the brakes too. So it has that hold feature. Turn indicators, all good. The hazard lights on there. As you can see there, it's actually not that bright. It's not that visible. When I open the door, you've got, at least on the big one, you have the door open indicator. I'll do some driving around and we'll see in different lighting conditions, because right now the sun is behind me, so it's sort of projecting directly in some parts of the display. But let me just go in reverse and we'll back out and test. Test it around. There it is. You can see now they're both under the shade, but the smaller display looks brighter to me. But at night, actually the bigger display is brighter. So I'm not sure whether there's some automatic dimming feature on the YONZEE, but right now the smaller display appear to be brighter. The other drawback on the small one is the wire is sticking out on the left. I think you can move it on the right. You kind of want it to come out from the back, so the wire is completely hidden. But since you can either only make it go out on one side or the other, you kind of get stuck with, yeah, it'll show up on the install. So again, another drawback. And the other thing that I notice with the YONZEE mini instrument cluster is that if you've got the headlights on, and if you depending on whether your display is set in light mode or dark mode, or if you're using auto, the brightness of the actual display adjusts. But I don't get why, for example, if I switch to light mode, so which means this is daylight, I want it to display a bit brighter because it's daylight, but if I put the display into light mode, it sort of dims a bit. But if I go to dark mode, which means it's nighttime, I want it to dim a bit, but it sort of goes brighter. So that's sort of mixed up. So if we try that using the small that other mini instrument cluster, the one with the battery percentage, if I set the appearance to dark mode, it doesn't change in the intensity of the display. So I don't see any noticeable difference there. So there's no logic, or does not have that capability, which is fine, because I think the actual display of this smaller one is actually more superior, I think, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, is better than this YONZEE one. So I don't mind. So if you notice here, I've only got the one instrument cluster. This is the smaller one that displays the battery percentage, and I've been driving with it because initially I thought the D indicator that comes on and off on the display is quite random, but I spoke with the seller and they explained to me that it's actually a feature. So apparently from 0 to 10 kilometers per hour, the D indicator will display. Anything, if you're traveling above 20, it'll turn off. I'm at standstill. You got the D display there, and I'm gonna accelerate, and you'll see the D will stay illuminated until I hit 20 kilometers per hour. So it turns off, and then it will only turn on once my speed goes down to 10. So speed between 10 to 20 is a gray area. I think there's some fuzzy logic happening between 10 to 20 kilometers per hour. So I'm happy with that. I think I'm gonna keep this instrument cluster because of several things. Main thing would be it's because it's sort of narrower, sort of yeah, it fits that aircon vent much better than the YONZEE. I'll do some measurements. I'll post it on this video, and I'll measure the gap of this aircon vent without those two instrument clusters, and I'll show you the measurements of each of the instrument cluster. Maybe 1 or 2 millimeters doesn't seem that much, but when I was installing the YONZEE, I had to really pry these aircon vent really up, and if I'm prying it up That means this one, when I've got it installed, it's exerting a downward force onto this plastic frame. I don't want that, and which is why I've chosen that instrument cluster. And that's all I have for you in this video. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them down below or write me an email at autos.gizmos@gmail.com. And finally, if you find this video helpful, please subscribe to my channel and click that like button. It will improve the YouTube algorithm and help me grow my channel. See you on the next one.